Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Burton Borders. And today my video was going to be focusing on Graham Potter and whether he's the right guy for the job at Chelsea. But some big transfer news has dropped in, so I'll be looking at that news as well. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Burton Borders. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah. So, first of all, before I get into this Graham Potter situation, I want to focus on some big transfer news that has just dropped, exclusive from Fabrizio Romano. He's saying that Chelsea and Shakhtar Donetsk have agreed a fee of 100 million euros, which is what, 95 million pounds for Mudryk, the guy who was heavily linked with Arsenal. So the terms of the deal's been agreed with Shakhtar. Well, now we need to agree terms with the player. And so, okay, do we need him? Probably, because looking at the way that Felix played, showed up the lack of quality we've got in the attacking areas. So this guy, he looks like he's a real deal. Maybe, he can come in and improve our attack even further. But for me, that's not the primary issue for me. The attack does need upgrading, I'm not going to lie, but we're already going to be, we can try and get João Felix if he does well, which he looks like he's going to do well. I think we should focus on trying to get him next season, unless it's impossible to get him, unless Atletico Madrid has said, look, this is just a loan. I know there's no option to buy, but if he pushes for a move, we may be able to get this deal done. We're getting Nkunku that's definitely been agreed. So we are upgrading our attack anyway in the summer. But if we're throwing 95 million pounds, which is 100 million euro at Mudryk, why not throw in an extra 20 million and try and get Enzo Fernandez, a guy who would definitely improve our team in the middle of the park where we need improving. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, yeah, but it's about the release clause and playing it up front. But, I think we had some negotiation. I think the issue was that we said we were going to pay the release clause, and we were working out how to pay the release clause and what sort of instalments. Then we said we're not paying 120 million for him, but yet we're prepared to pay 100 million for a guy who's played less games than him professionally. I don't get it. Just go back to Benfica and say, look, we'll pay the release clause, but we'll pay over 6 years in instalments. See if they're happy with that. If they're not happy with that deal, then I can understand. I don't know how they were brokering this Fernandez deal, but if it's a case of trying to go back there and getting throwing that extra 20 million, that extra 20 million is going to be probably worth it, because as I said, we're getting an upgrade in that midfield department. So, moving on to my main story, Graham Potter. A lot of people, obviously, they're saying that he's not the right man for the job and everything else. I've always maintained that I'm willing to give this guy a bit of patience, because and the reason why he's just been such an unlucky guy with the cards he's been dealt, the injuries, the suspension now to Felix, everything is not going right for him. So I think it's harsh to judge this guy so quickly on what's going on. And a lot of people said it takes him a couple of seasons to get his ideas across to the players. And look at Brighton, just see Brighton now. And I'm going to be touching on Brighton with Liverpool. Now, Brighton won 3-0 today. So let me touch on that one a bit later when I'm talking about Liverpool. But back to this now, and a lot of people, they're a bit strange in their thing. They're saying that, I know a lot of people didn't want Tuchel to go, and then they're saying, okay, bring him back or whatever. But here's what Tuchel had to say about the same players that Potter's had to deal with. He said, we have the same issues because we have the same players. And that was after our 4-0 defeat against Arsenal in the friendly. Rewind back to when Frank Lampard was the manager, and he said Chelsea is not the club that's ready to compete. So Okay, and so this, Potter's come in. Okay, a lot of people said, okay, he's taken us. Tuchel got us into the top four, but would he have got us into the top four again this season without some of the players? If he's dealt the same hands as Graham Potter has been dealt at the moment, I think that we'll be looking at 8th, 9th, 10th position with him, because let's be honest, results weren't going great when Tuchel was in charge, and so and the thing is, when two players are out of his team, and we saw it with Chilwell and Reece James, the results were the same. Rudiger is a big miss to this side, so he's had to reshape the defence. So they said, oh yeah, he's a great defensive record, but he was leaking goals before he went with the results against Leeds and other people. So I don't think people calling for his name. I mentioned it in a video the other day I made, but I don't think it would be making any difference. And some other people were saying about it was great in the days when Abramovich was there, not realising that Abramovich's regime has left us with these. They were the ones who got these players in. But anyway, I just want to go back to the Brighton situation. Brighton 3-0 against Liverpool. Brighton are now a team built mostly under Potter, and look where they are, riding high in the table. So I'm looking at Brighton, well done to Brighton, but then I'm going to focus on Liverpool now. Why did Liverpool lose that result? Mate, yeah, Brighton are doing well, which is good, but Liverpool, if you look at the side today, up front, injuries. They've got 3 of their players out injured. Nunez was out injured. We've got Firmino out injured. We've got DS out injured, and Jota. They're all got injured, so they can't score any goals with them. They have to play as they've got, and then at the back, no Virgil van Dijk, so they started to leak goals. And then what's happening in their midfield? They haven't refreshed their midfield for ages. Sound familiar? Yeah, exactly the situation that Chelsea are going through. So everyone's saying, is Klopp a bad manager because of that? Anybody dealt this hand is going to have difficulties. The reason why Arsenal are top of the league this season is they have hardly had any injuries. Okay, someone will say, okay, Gabriel Jesus is out, but it's not 5 or 6 players out at the same time. They've had an injury here for Partey's being out for 1 or 2 games. Shinchenko has been out maybe 1 or 2 games. Okay, and then you've got Jesus is out for a period of time, but they haven't had like 6 or 7 injuries at the same time. If they were the same sort of injuries that Chelsea are under and Liverpool are under, they would be getting poor results as well. So that's what I'm saying. So when you look at the injury crisis and everything else that is going on in the club and the transition that he's trying to make, then you can see why it's difficult for Potter at the moment. I keep saying that he could do better in his team selections. I've said that time and time again. People like Chukwuemeka, who has done nothing wrong. He's looked good every time they come on. He's got to stop playing those players as well, so he can do his bit for the transition. But please, guys, let's just put agendas to one side. Let's judge him when he's got all his players ready, and that is, people saying that's an excuse. That's a valid excuse. Klopp, as I said, is going through this now. If Pep Guardiola was without 6 or 7 of his first teamers, they'll be struggling. They lost today as well, but they'll be struggling without the core of their team. The spine of their team was out. They'll struggle. So any team in the world will struggle. Real Madrid, without 7 or 8 of their first teamers, they'll struggle. It's not rocket science. And so we've got 11 players out now injured. 11. That's the first full. We had another centre back, full cast centre. We could have a strong 11. That 11 that we've got out injured, that will compete with most teams in the league at the moment. If you put Zakaria as a central defender, and you've got Fofana in there, and you've got Reece James and Chilwell as the fullbacks, you've got the goalkeeper Mendy, and then you've got a midfield of Kante, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and who's the other midfielder? I can't remember who else is out. And then you've got Raheem Sterling, you've got Broha, and then you've got the suspension to João Felix now, and Pulisic. So we've got Pulisic. So you look at that. That's an 11. That's an 11 that can compete with anybody, and we'll without these 11 players for the next 3 or 4 games. So come on, guys. Perspective is all I ask for. So what do you think? First of all, what do you think of this Mudryk deal? Would you prefer to spend an extra 20 million and buy somebody, you know, we really needed Enzo Fernandez, or do you think this deal's too good to turn down? That's if he accepts our terms. And what do you think of what I said about the Potter situation? Do you think we're being a bit unfair to judge him, or are you seeing signs that he's just not the man for the job? Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Stick it in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next video. So take care for now. Bye-bye.